Okay, this is going to be another short and sweet class, going over some of the foundational movements, just taking our time to sort of reconnect, remind ourselves of some of those Pilates exercises. As with the last class, if you need a little head support, go ahead and use one. I'm not using one, but that doesn't mean, you do what's right for your body. So when we lie down, neck should feel happy, whether it's on a towel or flat. I'm just going to take a little moment, like we did before, just giving my back a little bit of time to sort of settle actually. Arms along at the side. Let feet kind of place them as if you're pressing them down a little bit, just a little bit of awareness. And I'm just going to breathe here for a moment or two. Nice and easy, and just giving myself a little moment to retune my mind. Let my back just relax a little bit into the floor. And then just like last time, just start to feel aware on the breath out of that deepening of the abdominals, a little more tone in the abdominals as you breathe out. Trying to start to connect and become aware a little bit more of this center area of our body. So just breathing out, allowing the abdominals to sink, feeling a little more tone around the lower abdominals. Now we're going to go into some pelvic tilts. So same again. As I breathe out, I'm just going to allow my abdominals to sink a little bit. Feel my lower back gently lengthening onto the floor and the tailbone curling up a little bit. And then releasing the pelvis back. I'm going to repeat this. Doesn't necessarily look very big, but I'm using my abdominals to try and rotate my pelvis, curl my tailbone up, and then releasing the pelvis back down. I'm going to go ahead into some pelvic curls now, where we start with that same pelvic tilting action, continuing to curl my tailbone, and I'm going to peel my lower back off the floor, coming up through to the rib cage, and I'm thinking of my knees reaching forward, and I'm trying to stand equally on both legs. As I roll my spine down, I'm trying to grow tall through the crown of my head as if I'm elongating my spine, and I'm trying to roll down vertebra by vertebra. And relax. And again, I'm going to breathe out as I deepen my abdominals, let the pelvis tilt, and start to peel the spine up off the mat. Knees are reaching forward. Just quickly check in, are your thighs parallel? We want to watch the knees aren't drifting wide. And can we feel the whole foot pressing down into the floor? Even that big toe joint side. And then rolling down through the spine as we lower back. We can do it one more time. This is just sort of wake up for the back of the hip and the back of the legs. Rotating the pelvis, healing up through the spine. Great for spine mobility as well, of course, this exercise. Chest open, arms gently pressing into the mat, so my chest feels a little opened as well. And as I roll down, I'm trying to grow a little taller, trying to keep that nice open chest, will roll through the spine. Good. As I come back to my level pelvis, I'm going to just go ahead and reach my two straight arms up to the ceiling, and just some shoulder shrugs here. So I'm going to reach up, feel my shoulder blades come away from the floor, and then gently release the blades back down, and try and lightly touch the top of your shoulder blade on the mat. And again, reach up, slide the blades up, and then let the blades just settle back down on the mat behind you. One more time, that little shoulder shrug up, and then gently drawing the blades down. I'm going to open my arms wide and just pause with my arms just hovering off the ground for a few moments, really stretching out through the fingertips, opening out through the chest, feeling really tall in my back. And then just letting the arms just rest down on the floor. I'm going to bring my feet together, and I'm going to go into a nice simple spine twist. So hugging the inner thighs and legs together. I'm going to inhale, let my two knees go to one side. And then exhale, pull with my abdominals to draw my knees back. Inhale the other way, shoulder stays relaxed. And exhale to return back to center. Think of using your waist doing this exercise, especially on the return. Think of using those abdominals a little bit more to really pull your lower body back. Inhale over. And exhale back. Let's do it one more time each side. This is very nice, just simple little spine twist. Feeling those waist muscles working, hopefully. Chest open. Nice relaxed arms. Last one. And use the waist to return. Good. Now I'm going to, once my knees are back, I'm going to slightly separate them. I'm going to bring my hands behind my head, interlacing my hands and allowing my elbows to lift up a little bit, finding those shoulder blades just dropping down the back, as if my shoulder blades are kind of wrapping around the side of the rib cage somewhat. Now, place the feet, a little pressure down with the feet, and just try and keep the pelvis nice and level. As we exhale, we're going to curl our chest up into our abdominal curl position, glancing over the knees, and then lengthening back down. We're going to repeat this a few times. Think of keeping the pelvis really level. Sometimes we can be tempted to tuck the tail up as we curl the head up. And then lengthening back down. Remember, we're folding under those ribs to curl the chest up, not pulling our neck. Our neck should feel like we're supporting it with our hands behind our head. And then all the way back down. We're going to do a variation today with a bit of a twist. So if we curl up this time and pause, I'm going to take my right leg to tabletop and I'm going to slightly press my left foot into the floor. Now I'm going to go across my left shoulder towards my right knee. And then I'm going to return back to square. And again, I'm going to breathe out, deepen the abdominals and twist across. And return. Now if I keep my left foot, the one on the floor pressing down, and try to keep my left hip, my left side of my pelvis down, that's going to make me really use my upper body, the twisting action more. So it's going to really make me feel those tummy muscles more. Last one. So really keep that left foot pressing down as you twist across. And back. I'm going to rest my head, rest my foot, take a little break. Okay, so we're going to do that second side, a little bit of abdominal twisting action, our obliques. We're going to curl the chest up. Now I'm going to sink my abdominals as I flow my left leg to tabletop. And again, we're going to go across the body, twist. And then returning to center. Keep my right foot pressing on the floor, or whichever one you're using on the ground, press it down. And back. Try and get a nice breath out as you twist, as if you're wringing out your waist. And back one more time, breathing out across. And coming back, I'm going to rest my head, I'm going to hug my knees into my chest, give myself a little rest to stir around. And we're going to go ahead and rock ourselves up to sitting. We're going to do our half roll back again. So my legs are together, they're sort of out 3/4, not too close in. I'm going to keep my heels on the ground, take my hands behind my head, my legs even, and sit nice and tall. And as we breathe out, we're trying to round our spine, especially the lower part of the back. Lean back, keep holding your legs until your arms are nearly straight. Hold the position. See if you can draw a little deeper into your tummy, as if you're zipping up those tight jeans. We're going to see if we can let go, hold, breathe out, sit up, and then grab on. And again, rounding back, holding, initially supporting ourselves a bit more with our arms. Feeling those abdominals working. Now you can stay holding your legs if you find this is a challenge. If you feel good, let go, hold. Think of finding a deeper connection into our center. We're going to breathe out as we sit up and sit tall. We're going to do this twice more. If you feel good, you can go a little further back, Almost letting the lower back graze the ground, holding, deepening our abdominals. See if we can let go, hold, breathe out, sit up, and lengthen up tall. We've got one more to go. We're going to round, holding onto the legs, pausing at our challenge point. Now just breathe and hold if you want to. If you feel good, let go. If you feel really good, try lifting the arms up and down a couple of times. It's going to load the abdominals slightly more still. And then we're going to sit up, breathe out, sit yourself up. Now we're going to come to lying all the way down again. So we're going to round back, and you can either keep your arms lifted if you feel that's a good choice for you, but also fine is to use your arms on your legs and walk down. This is more supportive if that's the right choice. Make sure you're controlling the roll down until you're lying on your back. Now we're going to bend our knees a bit closer in, and just for today, put the hands on the pelvis and just get a bit more aware and acquainted to this area. Try and feel the front, slightly prominent points at the front of your pelvis. I'm going to call them your hip points. Just notice, feel those if you can rest your fingertips on them. Bring the legs completely together. Now we're going to do a knee fall out. So I'm going to let my right knee drop out a few inches. And I'm trying to ensure my pelvis doesn't move with my leg. My hip points haven't changed. And then I bring my leg back. Okay, very simple prep exercise, this one. So let the knee drop out and return it back. With your fingers, you can feel, are you able to keep your pelvis still as you move your hip out, your leg out? And so it's requiring a bit of awareness and a bit of control on these core muscles, these abdominal muscles around the center. But we're going to do this, say 4 times on our left. I just did 4 times right. Let my left knee drop out, trying to keep my right side waist the same, and bring it out. This is a little bit of brain training as well. So we're trying to teach our brains, can we move just that left hip without the torso rocking over as well? Let's go 2 more times. So it creates a bit more control. I've got to use my opposite side more to keep my body still, my torso still. Now we're going to progress this into our single leg circle. So I'm going to let my arms rest down, but you can keep them there if it's useful to you. I'm going to keep my left leg where it is bent and just reach my right leg to the ceiling. And I'm going to make a circle on the ceiling with my toe, as if I'm kind of drawing a circle on the ceiling with my foot. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to do those stabilizing actions with my pelvis. So the pelvis stays put. I'm going to reverse the 4. So I'm drawing my circle the other way, trying to isolate this right hip joint and keep my spine and pelvis still. This is called the single leg circle in Pilates. And then we bend it and rest it down. Okay, so side 2, reaching our left leg up. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, tight back of the leg, you can keep your knee bent, that's fine. We're going to go ahead this time circling. And if you find it's a challenge to keep your pelvis still, try and make the circle maybe smaller. And try and make this about controlling the center of your body, trying to isolate that hip. Let's go the other way. If you're getting a lot of cracking or snapping, you can try slightly turning out the leg, sometimes helps. Last one. And in, and I'm going to bend that and place it down. Okay, I'm going to come up to sitting. I'm going to hug my knees and do a little rock up again. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to do a spine stretch forward. So sitting up tall with my legs as wide as my mat. Remember, you can sit on a block or you can slightly bend your knees if it helps you sit up a little taller. Okay, reaching my arms out, trying to sit up tall in my waistline. I'm going to breathe in. And as I breathe out, I'm going to nod my head and think of each vertebra slowly rounding forward as if I'm peeling my back away from a wall and stretching forward between my feet. Breathe in at the end and then roll the spine back up as if you're rebuilding your spine vertebra by vertebra, and the head is on the top at the end. Breathe in, grow tall, and again, nod the head, start to round the spine. As you reach forward, breathe out and think of pulling the abdominals back in opposition to create a little more stretch in your back, and then rolling the spine back up. We're going to do it one more time. Another thing you can do is to keep flexing the ankles back. That's going to create a little bit more stretch in the back line of your body and the back of the leg. Stretch forward, pull the waist back, and then rolling the spine back up. Sit it nice and tall. Okay, we're going to go on to a little sideline twist. Again, this is a nice gentle version, but really nice on the back. So my feet, my legs rather are bent like so. I'm going to lie on my side, hands interlaced behind my head, and just check that your head is nice and happy, your neck's happy, supported on that bottom arm. And we're going to go ahead, flap open the top elbow. I'm going to twist, glance up to the ceiling, and then untwist myself back around. Don't force it, just take some calm breaths. As we twist, we want to think of the legs staying still. So the lower body is roughly stable. And that's going to help us get a little more twisting sensation, twisting action in our spine. Let's do it 2 more times. Breathing as we twist. And returning, last one. Perhaps this last one you'll feel you're able to go a little bit further. Your back's warmed up a little bit more. And back. Okay, we're going to just very simple repeat on the other side. So I'm going to roll over and face away from the camera. Hands interlaced. And again, nice and simple. Twist. And return. Just keep going, keep repeating it. Nice and calm, lower body still. And back. I'm going to go 2 more times. Perhaps finding the last 2, I'm able to go a little bit further. And last one. I'm going to roll onto my front from here. So just roll yourself over. Place your hands palm onto palm in front of you and just rest the forehead on the hands. And just give yourself a little break here. Just take a little moment to rest. Okay, so we're going to strengthen our back muscles next. In this position, we want to feel a little bit of lift in the abdominals, as if there's a cold little ice cube underneath your belly, and you're just gently kind of lifting up the flesh of your tummy. So, firstly, I'm going to float up my head. I'm going to relax my shoulders down my back, trying to create more space between my earlobes and my shoulder blades. Now, from here, we're going to start to grow tall, lift the chest, look along the floor, and think of your chest reaching forward. And then I'm going to lower myself back down. Trying to prioritize length here. So growing tall, keeping the length, sending my chest forward, keeping the pelvis pressing into the mat. And then back down. One more time. Lifting up, growing tall, chest forward, letting my shoulders relax down my back a little bit. And down. Now I'm going to offer a slightly harder version, but you can keep going 2 more of the same. Or this harder version, I'm going to lift my arms up so they're hovering. And I'm actually going to press my forehead into my fingertips, as if I'm slightly headbutting my hands, and that's going to make me notice my neck a little bit more here. Now, keeping the abdominals lifted, I'm just going to hover an inch higher, and you'll really feel your back muscles working a bit more strongly in this one, and then lowering back down. Okay, so we're strengthening the muscles down our spine, either side of our spine, hovering, feeling tall. And again, we're going to do this one more time. Really nice tall elongation. And down. Okay, now I'm going to rest. I'm going to use my hands to sit myself back in a rest position. Knees a little bit apart. Sit back on your heels if your knees are okay with that. And just round over. Take a couple of deep breaths. Nice wide ribs. Nice calm moment here. And then I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. I'm going to just do some very simple cat stretches. So really nice and easy. I'm going to round my back. And then gently arch. Should feel really good. A little bit warmer now. Move the spine around. Do it one more time. And back. And we're going to finish with a little plank exercise. I'm going to drop my forearm. And you can keep your knees down as one option if you can't find these exercises challenging. Otherwise, tuck the toes. You're going to see if you can lift your knees off and be a straight line. So let's go ahead and make our little plank shape. Think of lifting the back of the head, lowering the hips, and we're just holding the shape. A little bit of a shaky position to hold. Try and keep the abdominals lifted in and up. Breathe. Hold it here, keep the tummy lifted, keep yourself nice and still, keep breathing, a couple more seconds if you can. And then we're going to rest our knees down, we're going to sit back onto our rest position again, just take a little moment there. And then sitting up, we're going to finish actually one standing exercise. We haven't done any leg strength in our little quick session today. So we're going to just do a hip hinge for standing. So if you bring yourself up, I'm going to stand with my knees a little bit apart, as wide as my shoulders. I'm going to imagine there's a chair behind me. I'll do it sideways as well. So I'm going to sit down as if I'm sat on a pretend chair. Hold, keep the tummy lifted, keep reaching out the hips, and then stand back up. And again, pitch the hips back. It's a little hip hinge action, lowering down. And standing up. Now, as long as your knees are feeling good, you're trying to get low so that your knees are at kind of 90-degree-ish angle and holding yourself there for a few breaths. And down. I'll do it facing you. Keep going for a few more repetitions. A bit of leg strength. Down. And stand up. Last one. Down. If you feel good, hold this last one if you can. Challenge yourself. Could you go a little bit lower? Can we breathe and hold it? 4 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, hold, hold. And then stand up. Good. Give your legs a little shake. Well done. Another little short and sweet session. See you next time.